Hello, Delaware Food Pharmacy families. Thank you for joining us for another DASH Diet video. My name is Shannon. I'm a registered dietitian and chef. Let's get started. Sunday breakfast, brunch, or even dinner, an oven frittata is a great DASH-friendly balanced meal. Today, we'll be making ours with broccoli, onions, and low-fat cheddar, paired with roasted Red Bliss potatoes and turkey bacon. First, we're going to show you how to make our roasted potatoes. I already have the Red Bliss potatoes cut, and notice I left the skin on. I'm going to add a little bit of the extra light olive oil for frying and baking, it says. So that's what we will do. We will bake. And I'm going to sprinkle some around it. It's probably going to end up being at least a tablespoon, possibly two. But remember, you're not actually getting a tablespoon of olive oil in each bite. And then we're going to season it. There's lots of things you could use. You could use your light adobo. You could add in some paprika. You could add in some garlic powder. You could also add in some chili powder or cayenne. Whatever you like to sort of spice it up and add some flavor. I'm probably just going to start with some of the adobo light. And remember, this does come out fast. Just be a little mindful. Okay, put a little bit in there. And then we'll mix it up. Okay. You definitely want them to have oil on them so that they get coated. You could put any herbs you wanted in this, maybe some parsley, kind of brighten up the colors. And you can add onions and peppers too. I actually usually add that after the fact. I saute them separately, and that's just so that they don't get super blackened. Okay, so we'll set this aside. And I have my very own, very old, used baking sheet, cookie sheet. If you wanted to keep this clean, you could put some Reynolds wrap on it. I find that when I put Reynolds wrap on with potatoes and try to scrape them off, I rip it and it ends up a mess anyhow. So I'm just going to keep it as is and spray with some non-stick cooking spray. Okay, so we're going to spray this down. Pretend you're a graffiti artist here. Get yourself there. Make myself a cool tag. Yes, there we go. and honestly, none of this will make any difference once we put these on. And we're going to want to pour them out. Use a tool. You could use your hands, but they'll get dirty. So you can use a tool, and the idea is that you just want it to be flat. Okay, so you want to make sure there's room for all your taters to toast. Toasty taters. You want them to lay flat in there. And that way, again, often I will mix them while they are cooking, and all the sides will get toasted up for the oven roasted potatoes. All right, so look at them all flat. I preheated my oven to about, I'm going to say 400, and I'll pop them in there. They take about 45 minutes, but again, halfway through, so at like minute 20, you're going to want to mix them around so that all the sides get toasted. And at the end, we'll show you how this looks with our oven frittata. We're going to make our oven frittata. And this has a couple steps to it, but I will show you through it start to finish. You can see I have, again, a very used and loved Pyrex. And we're going to put some cooking spray at the bottom so that we can make sure to get our pieces out, because that would not be fun to have guests and not have them be able to get their food. So we'll kind of coat it just like that, and we'll just set this aside. Okay. For our oven frittata, we're going to make ours with some low-fat, actually this is fat-free cheddar, and we also have some broccoli florets, as well as some low-fat milk and some seasonings, and of course our incredible eggs, which I'll show a better version of once I get them open. First thing we're going to do is cut down our veggies after we've sprayed down this so that we can have everything ready to throw in. I will quickly cut down, dice this onion. So again, always watching what we're doing, taking our time, peeling off the sticky layers. Same thing here. I'll push it over. Sorry about that. Push it forward. Nice little bit of onion. Okay. Onions. We'll put our onions right here in a bowl and set them aside. And we'll do the same thing with the broccoli. But the broccoli is a little bit different to cut. Again, I'm not a huge fan of giant chunks of anything. You may be. You might like giant pieces of broccoli and onion. So whatever your preference is, just know that you can adjust to what you like. Broccoli, got some fresh pieces here. They usually come with a rubber band to sort of hold them together. So we'll take off the rubber band. And you can use all of the broccoli if you want to. Generally, we use the florets, but you can always use the stems for like broccoli soup with broccoli cheddar. You can like roast them. There's all kinds of cool things you can do with broccoli. We'll have to do a show on broccoli too. Okay. So with this, again, we're always pushing forward, and I just kind of cut the florets right off. Got some extra leaves, so put that over there. And again, I will literally just kind of put them into pushing forward and making really small cuts. And you'll notice that some of the stem pieces are bigger, can all go in there. All right, I'm just finishing chopping these up because, as I said, I definitely like them to be somewhat bite-sized. They will run away from you there. And what we'll do is just kind of put them in another bowl to the side so that we can assemble this in kind of layers for our oven frittata. So now we're going to get cracking on our eggs for the omelet. And this is just a standard large white egg. You can use brown eggs. It doesn't matter inside. It's all the same. You can crack it on the side, crack it on your cutting board or plate, whatever is more comfortable to you. The idea is that you just have to give it a hard enough tap so that it comes out nice and clean. You will get shells in there. It does happen. So if that happens, you can always use like the side of the shell to kind of scoop it up, and that way you don't have to get your hands eggy. Okay, so I'll do like one more. Maybe I'll get a shell in it. I didn't. Oh, I did. Look. Okay, so we'll use this trick that my brother actually taught me to get it. Come here, little guy. Here, I got him. And then I don't have to use any other tools and get anything else dirty. Excellent tip. Thank you, Alex. Okay, so our eggs are all cracked, and I have two different kinds of, to be honest, weird whisks. This one came in one of my kids' play sets, and this is the one we kind of use, but either one of these would be fine. You just want to use a thin wire whisk because what that does is kind of whip more air into it. The wide wire whisks are more for mashing. So I'll use this groovy looking thing, and we'll just kind of mix them up. And we're going to add in our milk and a little bit of a seasoning. So this is probably mixed enough. It's got a little bit of froth to it, and all the egg yolks are broken. So what we'll do is kind of set this thing aside, and we'll add in our milk. Okay. As I said before, I used low-fat milk, and you can use skim milk if you want, but I chose low-fat today. And we're going to use about one cup of it. So I'll use my liquid measure here to pour it right in. And while we're doing that, we'll just continue to sort of whisk it through. Okay. This is also the point where I would probably whisk in a little bit of seasonings. And again, we're going to go with our trusty adobo, but you can use cayenne, you can use peppers, and by peppers I mean like cayenne pepper or whatever, paprika, any of that stuff will go great in here. So I'll put in a little bit of this, again not too much because it does come out quick, and we'll continue to mix it through. Okay, and then we will set this all aside. And we're going to start to layer our oven omelet. Okay, so the first thing that we'll put down is a little bit of the broccoli. We'll just kind of sprinkle it all in there so that it covers all around. And the great thing about this is that it's very like, put it in the oven and let it do its thing. You don't have to do too much afterwards. So we have lots of broccoli there. We'll put our layer of onions right over top of it. Okay. And this is definitely something you're going to want to mix around, because I'm sure no one would like to have that bite right there. So we're going to mix it around a little bit and make sure it's kind of evenly dispersed. Okay. And then we will add our eggs right on top. And wipe off my hands because they are a little broccoli and oniony. We'll pour this and quick little whisk through. There we go. Pour this right on top. Okay. And then we'll put in the good part. I mean, at least to me, the cheese. Again, you can use low-fat cheese. This is fat-free cheddar. You can put any cheese you want. Colby jagged, cheddar, mozzarella. I always thought that cheddar goes well with broccoli. So I'm going to sprinkle some through. When I say some, I'm saying as much as you like, because it really will add a nice bit of flavor to your oven omelet. And really, what's an omelet without cheese? Or a frittata, an oven frittata. Okay, they all have cheese. Now we're ready for my favorite part, the plate up. We have our roasted potatoes and our oven frittata. And then we did some turkey bacon. And this I just put on a sheet tray, put in the oven at 400 and baked it, flipped it halfway through. And I always like a little bit of fruit. So it's pretty much a decent brunch display. And this is the kind of thing that you can heat up and it holds. So if you have it for brunch, you can have it the next day for breakfast or for dinner. All you have to do is throw it in the microwave. Okay? And again, it's a lot of portions. So we sprayed it down. Let's hope it doesn't fall apart on us. I already checked it. I put a knife in it to make sure it was done. And I'm going to give myself a corner piece. I don't know if you have kids and they like to pick their pieces, but sometimes the first piece doesn't come out perfect. But this did. Look at me. All right, so we've got a nice little bit there, and you can see the cheese and the broccoli. And then we'll add in some taters. Go ahead. Oh, no. Go ahead, little tights. There we go. They're all good. And we'll add on our bacon. Turkey bacon, that is. Okay, puts a little bit on the side there. You could always add rye toast to this if you wanted, or even wheat bread. And I always do like just some grapes, because I like a little bit of a freshness with it. And we're all set. I just need a fork. Thanks again for joining us today. I hope it was helpful. In our next video, we'll be creating a DASH-friendly dessert. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to your care team at Christiana.